much would you pay for a glimpse of the future?
More importantly, if you saw the future, would you take advantage of it?
Or would this be just another missed opportunity?
The stock you should have sold, the land you could have bought, the opportunity you would have taken, but didn't.
How many more opportunities are going to fall into your lap?
This may be your last chance.
Pay attention.
Once every decade, something really big comes along.
In the 70s, it was VCRs. In the 80s, it was personal computers. In the 90s, it was the internet.
People who were positioned correctly in the 80s became millionaires. People who were positioned correctly in the 90s became billionaires.
What do you think is going to happen in the next few years?
In his best-selling books, The Next Trillion and Wellness Revolution, noted economist Paul Zane Pilzer states that in this decade, an additional $1 trillion annually of the U.S. economy will be devoted to the wellness industry, providing healthy people products and services to make them feel even healthier, look better, slow down the effects of aging, or to prevent diseases from developing in the first place.
Think about it. Most wellness industry sales did not even exist 2 decades ago.
Today, they already total approximately $300 billion in annual sales, about the same amount spent on new automobiles in the U.S.
Today, $300 billion a year. By the end of this decade, $1 trillion. That's 1,000 billion a year.
For those of you not into math, that is 300% growth. How is that kind of growth possible? How is that kind of growth predictable?
2 words, baby boomers. You've been hearing about them for over 20 years. They've been dictating our economy for over 20 years.
Isn't it about time you cashed in? The baby boomers are now in their 40s and 50s. Peak earning years, bigger dollars, more spending power.
Boomers are already responsible for the housing boom, the sport utility vehicle, personal computers, and the internet.
In short, boomers and the things they want are already $6 trillion of our $12 trillion economy. Even though they're less than 30% of our population, they're 50% of our gross domestic product.
More significantly, they're about to add $1 trillion to their $6 trillion of spending every year to preserve the one thing they hope works better than any SUV, condo, or computer: their youth. Youth, anti-aging, health, wellness, the next big thing.
By taking control of their lives, baby boomers are creating a revolution in wellness, and it is happening fast.
Look, changes that used to take place over decades now take place in a few years or less. When Henry Ford invented the Model T in 1908, it took 7 decades for automobiles to become a $1 trillion industry.
When IBM released the first PC in 1981, it took only 1 decade for the PC to surpass automobile sales and become a $1 trillion industry. Now, the wellness industry will exceed $1 trillion in just the next 5 years.
$1 trillion. That's $2.7 billion every day, $114 million every hour, $1.9 million every minute.
In the 1990s, the number of U.S. millionaire families rose from 3.6 million to 7.2 million.
Economist Pilzer predicts that an additional 3.6 million families will become millionaires over the next 5 years, many of them by working in the wellness industry.
So how do you cash in on this wellness revolution?